This is when we get down to the nitty gritty of finding the small little things that bring us joy. When we're in times of turmoil like we are now, we really need to seek out the tiny little things. We can't always have these big exuberant things happen. But for Christmas, I got a bird feeder, and today, for the first time, there's all these birds hanging out at my bird feeder right outside my kitchen window. And there's some nuthatches and some woodpeckers and some chickadees. And it's just joy to watch these birds come to my window. And I marveled at how simple of a pleasure something like that could be. And, I think perhaps if it was a different time and we weren't all searching for the nuggets to find our way, right? I might have overlooked that. Maybe not, because I think it's pretty cool. And I don't know how you feel about birds, but I think it's pretty cool. But it's easy to pass over the small little things that happen in our day and forget that there's magic and miracles happening all around us all the time. So your yoga homework, because I know some of you love to have some yoga homework, is to search out for those small little miracles that are happening in your life. And it could be something very simple like a bird coming to visit, or it could be something grand like you got a clean bill of health at the doctor. So let's go ahead and sit up straight and tall and take a moment to just enjoy being in your body. So there's so much to worry ourselves over, right? So see what you can do right now to let some of that just you can take it up and pick it back up again after class if you want to. But for now, let's just try to put down some of the stress, some of the worry, and be in this moment here. So close your eyes, sit up straight and tall, and find the inner space. So what little miracle, what little joy have you experienced today? Did you feel sun on your face yet today? Have you felt the ease of a clear breath, maybe even a cold breath outside? Have you talked to someone, hugged someone, any interaction with someone today that's brought you a sense of connection? Have you pondered something? Did you read anything yet today that's given you a sense of, wow, that person is courageous, or that moves me in some way? So, what have been the little tiny moments already since the sun's been up that maybe you haven't noticed they were as grand as they actually are? Maybe you have a very smiley dog that greeted you this morning. Okay, so, bring your attention to the small miracles. Bring them in right now into the way you are able to breathe, the way you are able to sit, the way you're able to move. Can you relish in the joy of the small miracles? Drop down and weight yourself. So feel the earth. Can you feel the lift of the spine, the spaciousness of the spine? And even if joy isn't erupting in you, because let's face it, the world is quite heavy at the moment, can you fake it till you make it just a little bit? Can you turn the corners of your mouth upward just a bit, even though it feels ridiculous sometimes to fake smile? Can you allow a sense of inner light to shine, even if you have to fake it till you make it? Sometimes the mind listens to the body, takes its cues from the body. So let the body teach the mind the joy of this moment. Place your hands together at your heart and bow in. And let's have some gratitude before we get moving for the people in your life who bring joy to you. When joy becomes infectious and we get to spread joy, when you know someone or don't even know someone and you see them smile, that even through a mask, the little crinkly eyed smile, can you allow others' joy to enter you? And can you be that vector for someone else? Never underestimate the power of your smile to impact another. All right, let's release the hands and come onto your back. So I'm moving a little gingerly today, so don't mind me if I can't do everything. Um, Listen to what I say, not necessarily what I do. I hurt my back just a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and find our way onto the floor. You can have your knees bent or legs straight, whatever's comfortable. And stretch your arms overhead and feel the deep length and reach through your spine. Feel the thoracic spine open up. And then stretch the right side, stretch the left side, and just come into that sense of openness through the ribs. Breathe into the big open chest, the big open heart. Have a little back bend in the back here. Notice what it does for you. And then bring your knees into your chest and rock around a little bit. Sway from side to side if it's comfortable. You can squeeze in tight or squeeze in loosely with your knees towards your chest. And then let's go ahead and circle the knees. Let's go one direction a few times this way. And then go another direction a few times that way. And just feel your sacrum on the floor. All right, and then let's open the knees up and then bring them back in. Just finding that sense of movement in your hip joints. And feel free to feel the pelvis move too. So you might be rocking a little bit into some anterior and posterior tilting while you're doing this. Just sense the body. And then put your feet down onto the ground again. Feet are wide on the floor. And just windshield wiper your knees left and right. Just notice how far your body wants to move. So you might go knees all the way to the floor, or you might just go a little bit from side to side to see what your body's calling for. Remember, our greatest gift in our practice is our breath. It's the presence and our breath. So let yourself be here now. Feel the breath move inside of you. And then expand open, stretch your limbs, reaching to your fingertips and your toes. Wiggle some things around on the edges of your body. And then bring your knees into your chest and perhaps your head lifts up too. And let's repeat that. Inhale, open your body out. Exhale, draw your body in. All right, and then go ahead and roll over onto your side and come up onto your hands and your knees. So as we find all fours, take your time, just notice your body in space and feel how is your spine today? What kind of movement do you want to offer your spine? So you can start with some cat-cows, just moving into whatever range of motion is healthy and good for your body. And then swirl things around a little bit. So move through your pelvis, roll through your shoulders, move through your hips, move your head, move your neck. Just find anything that feels really good. And then stretch back towards child's pose. Walk the hands wherever they're comfortable. Inch them out in front of you if it's happy to be there. And then walk the hands over to the right side of the mat, opening up the left rib cage. So feel the side body, get some space. If you tend to hunker down and, if you've been anxious, if you've been depressed, if you've been worried, if you've been exhausted, overwhelmed, let the rib cage open. See if you can stay present with finding the depth of your breathing. Walk the hands over to the other side, feeling that reach and length. Breathe, let your head relax, melt whatever is comfortable to melt in your neck, the base of your skull. Open up those ribs. And then come back to center. Come up onto all fours and find your way into a flat back. And we're going to do some cross lateral work today. So stretch the left leg straight back behind you. Let's pulse the leg a few times here just to get involved with our strength. Feeling your glutes, feeling your core, feeling your hamstring. And then when you're ready, lift the arm out in front of you. And if your shoulder or something's not allowing you to be in the position that I offer, change something. So your arm can be out to the side or down at your side, but still up in the air. So you feel that cross line work in the front and back. So feel shoulder and hip find each other. All right, and then place that hand and knee down onto the ground and change sides. Bring that other leg out and pulse it a few times. See what it feels like to wake up. And notice, it's common for us to have a stronger side, to have a more dominant side in our body. So when you start to pulse the side, is it your dominant side or no? Or do you feel balanced? Are you lucky? Is that your small miracle today, that you actually have balance in your body? Stretch your arm out in front of you. Stabilize through your core. Your arm can be out to the side or back. Find the deep roots deep inside of your body. What's hugging onto your spine? Can you feel those little multifidus muscles engage and hug one vertebrae to the next? And then release that hand and knee back down onto the ground. Let's find a warm-up twist. Reach the right arm up in the air. Take a breath and slide that shoulder through, finding a twist. You go as deep into it as your body says go. Breathe into the back of your body. See if you can feel that sense of broadness, spaciousness through the back side of the body. Remember, our breath is a gateway into joy. It is a gateway into presence. And then come back to center and find the other side. Reaching the left arm out or up in front of you, and exhale to slide that one through. Relax your forehead, relax your eyes. See what it feels like to rest the base of the skull. Have the breath touch into the back of the body. Feel the back of the rib cage, the space between your shoulder blades. And then when you're ready, find your way up and out of there. Bringing the arm out. And let's find dog pose. So what a beautiful pose this is. This is a small miracle pose. All poses in yoga are small miracle poses. But what's the little joy that's found in dog pose? Feel free to move. Feel free to be still. If you want to sway your hips around or touch one heel down and bend the opposite knee, kind of getting into the stretch sensation in the back side of your body. What does it feel like to open up your rib cage here? What does it feel like to melt your head and relax your brain against your skull bones? How big can you get your body to feel? How broad, how long? Can you feel the yielding? Can you drop into the earth? How big can you get your breath to feel in the back side? The back bottom ribs, are those moving with your inhales and exhales? And then let's walk our feet forward and come into Uttanasana. Fold and half bend your knees as much as you want. Feel free to wag your tail or move your shoulders around. Inhale for a halfway lift. Your spine is growing longer. The legs stretch. The backs of the knees stretch open. And then exhale and melt back down. Push off your feet. Rise up, lifting your body upward. Feeling a sense of reach as you extend your arms to the sky. Open across your chest, cactus. Open the arms if it feels nice. And then spread your arms out. Spread your palms toward the walls. And release the arms. Interlace your hands behind your back. Open across your sternum. Bend your knees a lot and fold forward again. Relax your head. The knees are soft. The feet are yielding into the earth. Stretch the shoulders. Relax the neck. And then release your arms down. Grab onto your elbows. Bend your knees a lot. And have just a little tiny tug on your elbows. And shimmy your rib cage away from the pelvis. See if you can find some space in between the ribs and the hips. Find your breath. Inhale for a halfway lift. The thigh bones spread back. Exhale and melt down again. Left foot is coming back now. Come to a lunge, warming up the legs. Feel the hip flexors begin to open and stretch. Feel the chest broaden and open. Find your breathing. Find the joy in your heart. Expand the ribs. Maybe smile a little bit. Square the hips as you move so you can begin to straighten and bend your front knee. As you feel the hamstrings and the calf stretch, can you feel joy in that? So, that don't go to the point of like pain unless that sensation, sometimes the sensation of stretch can be painful, but sometimes it can be joyful. So just trying to find the joyful side of that coin. And then come to a lunge. Find your breath. Walk your back foot forward, fold in half. Inhale for a halfway lift. The spine grows. My hands are up on blocks. Sometimes that's nice. You get a lot of space in the spine. Exhale and melt back down again. Step your other foot back. Left foot is forward, right foot is back. Lunging, opening up the hip flexors. Wake them up. Feel the joy in your hips. Breathe. Are you yielding? Are you grounding? Feel the inner thighs come toward the midline. How's the chest? Are you long and spacious? Let's go ahead and find some movement. And you can pick your toes up off the floor. You can keep your toe down on the floor and reach your hip back. Just find what the movement pattern that feels best in your body. All right, and then let's go ahead and walk the back foot forward one more time. Fold in half, halfway lift, hold something. Exhale and melt back down. Push off your feet, rise up, bringing the arms to the sky. Bring your hands down, open up your chest, and just pause for a moment. Eyes open, eyes closed. Smile, that little tiny internal smile. Can you imagine your heart smiling too? See what it feels like to fake it till you make it, or maybe you're not faking it. Maybe you're able to seek a little joy in your body. And then platter your arms open so palms are facing up toward the sky. Open up the shoulders, hug the shoulder blades toward each other. Find the breath. And then exhale and release. Lift your arms all the way up. Take a breath. Exhale and fold forward. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt back down. Step back, right foot forward, left foot back. Lunging here. Rise up, come to crescent lunge. Any way you want your body to be. So your hands can stay on your hips. Your hands can come up in the air. Whatever position feels really good for your body. Open up the heart. See what it feels like. So you want to have space, but not let those floating ribs pop right out. See if you can integrate and stay open. Grab on if your arms are up overhead. With the left hand up in the air, stretch it up and over, feeling that sense of space through the side of the body. We're going to turn this into a twist, so rock forward, hand on your knee. Maybe your elbow comes on your knee. That's a little too deep for my body today, so I'm going to put my hand on the floor or on a block and find a gentle twist here. So you decide how deep you want to go. The thigh bone is lifting, that back thigh is lifting up. Feel the inner thighs find the midline. And then exhale and release down. Hop up onto your right foot. So we're lifting into half splits. So have the blocks underneath you. Feel that leg in the air like we did before. Pulse the leg a few times. Feel the glutes turn on. And then when you're ready, stretch the other arm out in front of you. So right arm is out in front, left leg is behind you. Extend the spine. Find the muscles along your spine working. So these are deeper muscles. It's not just, the accessory muscles on the outside. We're working with the deep inner muscles along the spine. Okay, and then take a giant step back into your lunge. Find your way up, crescent lunge again. Arms anywhere you want them to be. Hands down onto the ground, step back. Come into a plank. Hold steady here. Shoulders are away from the ears. Breathing well. Deep inhale. Long exhale. and find your way down to the ground. Find a little bit of a back bend. I'm gonna stay low in my body today, but you can go as high up as you want to go. And then exhale and release and melt back down. Find another one. Stabilize through your body. Feel your glutes, your hamstrings, your core work. Exhale and find your way back down. Deep breaths here, in and out. Come back up onto all fours. Back into our cross hemisphere work. This time start with your right leg straight back behind you, left arm out in front of you. Take a deep breath in, exhale and hug in toward the center, elbow and knee. Inhale, bring it out. Exhale, elbow and knee coming into each other. Let's try a third time. Inhale, lengthen your leg and arm out. Exhale and bring it on in. Extend through the spine, arm, leg. Place two hands onto the ground. Let's switch sides. So now our left leg is out behind us. Square the hips. Feel the wrapping around your spine. Reach that arm out in front of you, out to the side or back. As you move, breathe. So inhale to lengthen. As you exhale, draw in. Inhale and lengthen out. Hold the spine with the core, with those little muscles along your spine. Exhale in. One more time. And then drawing your elbow and knee in toward each other. Extend your body out. Place your hand and knee down onto the ground. Back to dog pose. Find the joy in this posture. Relax your head. Feel the deep reach and lengthen your spine. Feel free to bend your knees. Feel free to bend your elbows. What helps you stay integrated? When you're ready, your left foot comes forward to a lunge. Rise up, crescent lunge. So depending on what your arms are doing, so you may be, lightly in the pose. I'm trying to go kind of a little lightly in my practice today, so I'm not very deeply bent in my lunge, for instance. So it doesn't matter. Trust yourself to be where you are. And if you can't lift your arm, both arms overhead, see if you can just lift this one. And if that shoulder doesn't move well, you can just extend through the side. If both arms can come up easily, you can extend through both sides. Find your breath. Whatever you're doing, whatever movement you're accessing, can you breathe into the space in your chest? All right, and then come back to center. Bring the hands forward, place them on the blocks. Come all the way up into half splits. Feel your yielding. So root into the earth, unblock your knee, lift that hip. With your leg in the air, lift, maybe pulse a few times. Can you integrate into the deep low core? Feel the muscles along your spine. And then when you're ready, your opposite arm, your left arm's either gonna come out in front of you, out to the side, or out back behind you. So take it off the block. Feel the inner spiral of the thighs, the length of the spine. Integrate the floating ribs into the body. Soften the knee that you're standing on. And then go ahead and place that foot all the way back. Lunge again. Reach your arms wherever you want them to be for crescent lunge. Find your breath. Open your heart out. Place the hands down onto the ground. Plank pose again. Hold steady. Breathing well here. And then as you're ready, let's come all the way down to the ground. Lie on your belly. Okay, now go ahead and take your arms wherever you're going to have them, either down at your sides, out at your sides, or up overhead. And we're going to do some of that cross lateral work again here in this plane. So we're doing in 3 planes, on all fours, on your hands and your feet, and now on your belly. So let's take the right leg and lift it up. Pulse it a few times. How can you wrap around your core so that you're not just falling into the earth? And then use your arm as well. So the arm can be out in front of you, out to the side, or down at your side. Find those muscles along your back, the littler muscles. See if you can deeply access those multifidus, that Hold one vertebrae to the next. Support with your deep belly. And then relax. We'll switch sides. Left leg lifting, pulse a few times. Make sure your glutes and your hamstrings are here for you. Stabilize through your core. Reach that right arm wherever it's going to go. Find the muscles along your spine. Breathe here. And then relax. Put your head turned or hands underneath your forehead. Windshield wiper your knees left and right. Finding the breath. And then come back. Everything comes up and we're going to swim. Well, I call it swimming, but this is not swimming. Go ahead and shift left and right. So we're moving our arms and our legs. Don't forget your front body is involved in this. So those little muscles that support your spine, activate them, get them alive, get them awake. Your arms can be down at your sides to do this. All right, and then relax. Come up onto all fours. Find your way into any kind of movement that you want. Breathe. We're going to bring our left foot back forward to a lunge. Place either your right hand onto the ground for the twist on this side, or if you're going to come higher, rise up and come higher into a twist. You do you, whatever is going to work in your body. Find your breathing. Can you access the inner thighs, finding the midline? And then relax and bring your hands forward, bring your foot forward. Fold in half, relax your spine. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt back down. Push off your feet, rise up, come to stand. A block between your thighs can be really nice if you want a block between your thighs for chair pose. So as you find a chair, now we're not doing left to right, so we're finding the midline. So seek a gentle hug. So we're not vice gripping the block, just a gentle hug. Find the breath and put your arms anywhere that is comfortable for your body. Feel the symmetry. Draw the knees back into the hips. Breathe well here. All right, now rise up. Put a block between your thighs. Even if you didn't have it just a second ago, have it now. Feel a slight inner spiral of your thighs. As you reach your arms up, and always you can do this with arms down if you need to, we're going to just ever so slightly reach over to one side. So I don't want this to be a really big side lateral bend. See if you can just come into the sense that you are hugging one side of the spine. A little closer, not touching, but bringing those side little edges of the vertebrae closer to each other. And then come back up and go to the other side. Feel the block. Just a little bit of movement of bending to the side. And notice, do you have dominance? Is one side a little stronger, a little bit more familiar than another? And then come back to center, open your body up, take a breath, and then release your hands. Get rid of that block, and let's open up our legs. So turn to the side of your mat, long edge of your mat. Okay. All right, so let's find a little bit of side bend here, just baby side bend. So we're not, going super deep, but just see what it feels like to tip over to one side. Maybe the arm lifts up, maybe you're supporting with your hand on your leg. Maybe the hands stay on the hips. Stay in your zone. So do not go past what your spine is able to support with those little muscles. And then let's find ourselves coming over to the other side. So notice how much core support you need to be in this position. Your arm can be up or your arm can be down. Okay, relax. Come forward. Symmetrical pose. Walk the hands forward like dog pose. Feel free to bend your knees a lot, like squatty lot, or keep your legs straight, more like a really wide dog pose. So what's going to nourish the spaciousness in between your vertebrae is best? All right, and then Let's come back up. Turn your foot out. So we're finding now Parsva Konasana. So let's get into the side bodies now. We strengthen a lot along our spine to support us. Use that strength now as we start to open up the sides of our body. So reach into that length. So of course the outer rim of the body is going to feel a big stretch. Stay rooted through your back heel. Yield a little bit into that. Extend. Now notice what the spine is doing. What's holding you here beside your elbow landing on your knee? What if you took your elbow away? So just be a little lighter in your weight and see what's holding you. Can you feel the center of the body? Breathe into all that open space. All right, and then go ahead and find your way back up. I'm just warming up the legs for some standing poses. Go ahead and turn the other way. Place your elbow on your knee. Maybe your arm stretches overhead. Maybe your shoulder doesn't allow that. But even if your shoulder doesn't, can you still feel the length in your side? Notice if you shrink a little bit, if you kind of collapse in the underbelly of the pose, find two sides getting longer. Yield into that back foot. So maybe even bend the knee so you can feel the press into the earth. And then what might it feel like to lighten the load on that elbow on your knee? Feel the work in your legs increase. Feel the work in your spine and your core increase. Just lighten the load. Don't try to take your elbow away. Just lighten the load. How's your breath? All right, great. And then come back to center. Flip your feet the other way. Come into Virabhadrasana 2 now. So remember, you can always support yourself. Finding your breath. I got to keep track of the time. Don't have my watch on today. Okay. So find your way into Virabhadrasana 2 now. So as you open up the chest, decide what you want to do with the arms. See if you can lengthen. Lift off your pelvis. Feel both sides of your ribs, both sides of your spine. Those muscles along your spine that we work so hard in, those alternate movement patterns of left to right, can you feel them support the spine as you lift up? Can you feel your core support the spine as it lifts up? Breathing deeply. Root into the feet. Yield what you can. Relax what you can. How are your upper traps? Do they feel like doing all the work? Can you smile? Can you feel the expansive chest? Can your chest smile? Okay, and then what might it feel like to feel a side body stretch here? So hand on your thigh, try to be light. So see what you can do to open this up with the movement of your spine and the muscles along your spine instead of relying on your arms. Okay, and then one more time, elbow on the knee, open the chest, Parsva Konasana, open the other side. Lighter on your elbow. Feel the weight of your legs, the strength of your legs. Feel the strength of your spine. All right, and then when you're ready, come back out of there. Let's turn our feet directly over to the other side. So we're just going back and forth between our two sides. So remember, anytime you need to, you can put a block against your knee, against a piece of furniture to support your posture if you need it. Only go as far into the pose as your body is available to do today. Place your arms where it's comfortable. What's going to give you breath? Can you feel the feet yield? Can you feel the spine grow? Can you relax the shoulders? Can you feel the spine grow without it being about your shoulders lifting up toward your ears? Can you relax the shoulders down, but feel the spine, the center line of your body growing? Okay. And when you're ready, find a reverse warrior. See what you can do to have this action be an action of the belly, an action of the core, an action of the spine, instead of just an action of the shoulder. Feel the feet yielding. Give weight and effort to the legs. Okay, and then one more time, coming into Parsva Konasana, elbow on your knee. Feel the extension. Arm can come up or not. Shoulders are away from the ears. Try to get the spine to grow without it being an action of lifting your shoulders toward your ears. Drop them down and feel the center line of the body extend. Yield into the feet. All right, and when you're ready, find your way out. Let's flip back our feet to the long edge of your mat. And this time we're going to come 2 feet wide. So goddess pose, open up the knees. So remember, your goddess pose can be really deep. Your goddess pose can be higher. Just make sure if you have a knee, ankle, or hip that is a little vulnerable, find that first. Find the comfortable place for that to be and let the other leg mirror it. Find the breath. Reach the arms up if you're able to. And then hands on the hips, tipping to the teapot to one side. Feel it in your spine, not in your shoulders. Come back to center, tip a little bit to the other side. Feel the hug on one side of the spine versus the other. And back to center. Feel the length of the legs, spread out your arms. Heel toe your feet a little bit in and come back to the front of your mat for dog pose. So take your hands down, walk your feet back and extend. Bend your knees. Feel the growing length of the spine again. Straighten your legs if your body likes that. Keep them bent if you want. All right, come forward into a plank. Hold yourself steady here. Finding the breath. All right, and then come down onto your hands and your knees. Find the breath. Okay, and we're going to turn and look out over one side. And back. So just back to that lateral bending a little bit. Go the other side. And then come back and stretch back towards child's pose. Put your knees close together. Breathe into the very back of your body. All right, come onto your back. Have a block handy if you wish. We're going to do a couple bridge poses. So if you're feeling like you need a block underneath your pelvis, then you can, or between your thighs, then you can take that. We're going to do one active and one passive. Okay. So first, arms down at your sides. You get to decide when we move into this pose where you want your arms to end up. They can be down at your sides, palms facing up. They can be elbows bent, palms facing each other. They can also be interlaced underneath you, underneath your back. So find whatever variation of a bridge is best for your shoulders, your elbows, your back, and find your way here. If you want to hug a block between your thighs, you can. Let your breath fill and completely empty. Don't forget about the emptying. Feel the chest broaden. Puff out your feathers. Be like the birds. Puff out the feathers. Feel the sides of your ribs expand and lift. Those little muscles along your spine are helping you in the back bend. Can you feel your feet rooting into the earth, all 4 corners? Can you feel evenness across your glutes and your hamstrings working? And then exhale and lower yourself down. Find neutral spine for a moment. Just rest here. Decide if that was a good thing for your body or not. So, everybody's vulnerable in different ways. If your back is vulnerable to back bends, this is usually a pretty safe one, but not for everybody. So you get to decide how you want this next position to be. You can stay here in constructive rest and just have your pelvis down. You can grab a block and put it on the lowest height or the middle height. Or if you want to go high, stack 2 blocks on top of each other, one on top of the other. Higher is definitely not necessary to get the pose to be restorative for you. Relax your arms open. We're going to move into heart bench in a moment to really try to open up the chest for some joy. So hopefully we've done enough to prepare the ribs, the sides, the spine for some opening. So let this prepare the psoas muscles a little bit, the front of your body, to find some space. All right, now before we move anywhere, let's bring our knees up. You can have your knees right over your pelvis or a little bit more forward toward your spine. So you decide in what way feels best. Maybe you want to keep the knees bent. Maybe you want to lift the legs up. So legs up an imaginary wall. You know what's nice about putting your legs up is it just that you give your body a break with gravity. So now gravity is working with the venous return of blood toward your heart, with the lymphatic vessels, moving all your lymph back from your lower extremities toward your chest where it drains into your cardiovascular system. So see if you can feel that. See if you can feel the lightness of being that your feet suddenly have. Can you also feel the roots of your femur bones dropping into the pelvis? This is very nourishing for the SI joints, for the low back. Let's go ahead and release to come out of there. So you're going to bring your feet back down onto the ground, lift your hips and lower your pelvis back down. Pause here for a moment. We're going to do a simple twist before we move into heart bench. So lift up the hips, scooch them to the right, knees come up and drop them left. So I'm skipping the twists for now, but you go ahead and do you. Open the chest, breathe well. Go ahead and relax. Come out of there and change sides. So scooch the hips the other way, knees come up and over to the side. Open up your chest. Take some deep breaths into the open pecs, the open chest. All right, then go ahead and find your way back. You can roll all the way over to your side once you come out of the pose, and we're going to set up for heart bench. So hopefully you have 2 blocks. If not, you can use blankets. Okay, so we're going to have 1 block on the middle height underneath your skull, and the other block you can either have long ways on the low side, but long ways along your spine, or crossways across your spine. If you're super tiny, you might want to go crossways, and if you're tall, you definitely want to go long ways, and if you're in between, then you can choose. Okay, so find what's comfortable for you. Okay, and let's find our way down. So support in between the shoulder blades with the block. The other block is under your head. And decide how, some people like the block a little lower down toward the pelvis. Some people like the block a little bit higher toward their head. See if you can discover a way where this is actually comfortable. If the block feels real pokey, especially if you have wooden blocks, you can try putting a thin blanket over the blocks just to have some softness, a little less pokiness. So adjust, take your time to find exactly where you want the blocks to be. And then once you get comfortable, and comfort may be turning the block, not just up, down, but it might be making it horizontal instead of vertical. Once you're comfortable with the upper body, figure out what you want to do with your lower body. So do you want to butterfly your knees open for Supta Baddha Konasana? Do you want support underneath those knees if you do that with blankets? Do you want your legs straight? Do you want your legs close or far apart from each other? Do you want your knees bent and your feet on the floor, more of a constructive rest position for your back? What's going to make your body so relaxed? So if we're trying to let our body teach our mind that we are capable of joy even when things are so dismal, this is a great pose. It's a heart opener. So what does that even mean to have the heart become open? Try not to push. So you don't want to crank the ribs in the back to force open the chest. Let there be a melting quality to the openness. Where do you want your arms? How do your arms support the openness of your chest? How does your breath support the openness of your heart? Is there a way for you to melt into the open heart instead of push? Can you get the feeling wherever your arms landed that your chest leads and your arms follow? So much, most of the day, our arms are in front of us. See what it feels like to have the arms lagging behind, the doing mind, the doing body, lagging behind the being mind, the being body. Stay in the breath. As you are ready to find your way out of park bench, be careful. So first, just breathe. Try not to pick your head up and sit up. Instead, roll over, bring your knees up and roll over onto your side. Be careful to roll off your perch. And then decide in our final pose before Shavasana whether you want to do reverse pigeon pose, or thigh over thigh hip stretch. Get into your hips a little bit. So you might want to start just by bringing your knees into your chest, rocking a little bit, nourish yourself. Try not to do happy baby pose just yet, even if you have a burning desire for it. I promise we'll get there. First, before a really deep back stretch, let's go ahead and stretch our hips. So either reverse pigeon pose, lying on your back, bringing your right foot onto your left knee, drawing your left knee toward your chest, or come into pigeon pose on the floor. So however whichever pose you decide to do. Remember that we want our sit bones to be wide. We want to yield into the earth. We want to let our head rest. Stay present with your breath, no matter which pose you're opting for. Can you stay fluid in your breathing? Release any tension through your hip as you stretch as best as you can. Melt something. Melt something. All right. And come on out of there. And either, if you're on your back, left foot now comes on right knee. Reach back to the right shin or thigh. And find your way here. If you're doing the thigh over thigh stretch, very simply, just cross one thigh or the other and the knees come toward the chest. And if you're in full pigeon pose, are you supported enough? Do you have the props you need to feel at ease in your joints? Whatever you're doing, can you widen the sit bones? Can you feel the spine grow? Is there a place to melt in the body? Is your head supported? Stay in the fluidity of your breath. All right. As you come out of this posture, take your time now. If you feel like you want to stay a little longer, you can. And if you're ready to make a change, everybody onto your back and rock. As you find happy baby pose, be very gentle at first. Hold your feet, feel the back body open. All those little muscles along the lumbar spine connecting one to the other, can you stretch them? And then release your legs. If you want to twist, you can do more rocking, left and right, windshield wipers, or a full twist, or you can just come into Shavasana. So anything you need for Shavasana, you can have support underneath your knees. You can put your legs back up a wall or your calves up on a chair or a couch. Find whatever is going to help you be at ease in the body so that you have that sense of comfort. You want your chest to feel comfortable. You want your back to feel comfortable. You want your limbs to feel comfortable. And certainly you want your breath to be able to easily move through your body. If you are cold at all, have some warmth. Get a blanket. If you feel the need for some weight on top of you, get some weight on top of you. Maybe your joy, that miracle, little tiny miracle, is just the ease that you can find in Shavasana. Is your body able to rest, especially if anxiety has been a part of your being lately? Can you let yourself be at ease? Stay in the presence of your breathing as you melt your body. Soft eyes, soft cheeks, loose tongue, loose teeth, melty neck, base of the skull, soft inner walls of the throat, melting spine, melting limbs, soft, soft belly to breathe. Let's begin to deepen our breathing again. Yield into the earth. Feel the floor below you support you. Start to invite some movement into the body. Maybe wiggling your toes, your fingers, maybe moving your head from one side to another. Whatever you're doing, breathe, find your breath. And find your way onto your side. Use your arms to help yourself upright. Take your time. As you come to a comfortable seat, find a teeny bit of a smile again. Think of a small miracle of today, something beautiful that's happened, small little beautiful thing that's happened in your day today. See if you can let that joy bubble up inside of you and share it as best as you can. It's healing energy. Joy is healing. So let's try to cultivate what we can and share it. So offer your energy to another. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful day.